$1,500, get $2 down, $1,500, $2. I got $1,500, 17 and a half, $2 down, $8, 17 and a half down, $2 down, be able to get $1,800, be able to get 17 and a half, 18, and now 19. 27. I got $2,600, $2,700. $2,600, $2,700, $2,600. Is he done? $2,600, 27. Anybody else want to get 2,700?
Hey everybody, Tag Life Done Free. Hey, I've told you guys in a lot of videos that, one of the arts to being able to do this is you really got to make $1 too. And, one of the ways I do that is by going to auctions. And so today I thought that I would share with you what I came back from the auction with yesterday, what I paid for it. And then maybe we'll talk a little bit about auctions, how they work, how you find them, those kind of things. So anyway, let me just kind of get started here. Let me turn the camera around. So the first thing that I bought were these mounts. So these are basically rifle mounts for a UTV or an ATV or something like that. But that's not really what I'm going to use them for. What I'm going to use them for is I'm going to attach them to Bee's little trailer that she uses on her Kubota, and we're going to put shovels and rakes and stuff like that. I paid $12.50 for this pack. This pack came with 2 mounts in it. So typically what I try to do when I'm looking for something is I try to decide what the retail price is, how new is it, and then typically I'm trying to pay about 20 to 30%, typically for an item. Now, if it's something I really, really want or something I can really, really use, I might go up to maybe 50% of that value, but typically I try to stay under 30%. And one of the arts to auctions is to stay disciplined, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's keep going on. So these big metal plates right here, and I got move this piece of wood here. I've got 2 of them, as you can see. These are skid loader mounting plates. So the skid loader will come up, it'll hook right up underneath here, the latch will go down into here, and you could weld anything you want to them to the plate. And for me, I use them for all kinds of things. I can make scaffolding, I can make, garden implements. One of my ideas is to take a 2-bottom plow and weld it to the front of my skid loader so that I can plow up hard to get to areas. And then another thing I want to do is, you guys have seen Bee's big garden mounds. I want to build a skid loader mount that makes them perfect every single time. That I just walk up to the pile of dirt, lay it down, pull it back, and what she'll have left over is a perfect pile of dirt. But anyway, so these plates I paid $100 a piece for. I think I kind of overpaid for them a little bit. I was really hoping to get these at about $60 or $70 a piece. But it just wasn't to be had at the auction. And again, I've got a couple projects coming up I'd like to get to in reference to these plates. So the next thing I got here was this. Look, this is a target tree. So when you shoot it, right, the targets will, bounce over to the other side. This is 3/8 AR 500 plate, and so you can shoot it with just about anything 30 caliber or under, and it'll take it pretty good. So an AK, an AR, a 308, some of those kind of things. But I do have a range that we use quite often, and so I'm always trying to build it, trying to add to that range. I don't do a lot of videos on the range because I'm afraid that powers that be will get mad at me and spank me. So I haven't done a lot of it, but maybe I don't care. I don't know. We'll get on to it. Oh yes, so I paid $220 for this tree. Again, it's about retail. It's about $500. Now these were pretty interesting to me. So I bought both of these 2 paint sprayers there. I paid $3.50 for the pair of them. Now I don't know if they work or they don't work, but I figured with 2 of the exact same sprayer, at the very least I could come out with one that worked well. And so we'll kind of play with this, see if we can get them working. Worst case is I gambled $3.50 and nothing works and I throw them away. Best case scenario is I get one working, and retail on these things is probably $1,200–1,300. $3.50 certainly isn't bad. Let me show you one other thing that I got here. See this piece of wood right here? So that's a pretty nice piece of hardwood. I think it's birch. I'm not 100% sure. I need to do a little research on it. But anyway, I found a whole pallet of them. And so I bought the whole pallet. Let me show you how many that is here real quick. I stacked them in here this morning. So I counted about 270 pieces here. They're 24 inches long. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. But here's the thing. You know, if you do the, you know, the measurement on this, this is about 500 board feet of pretty wood. And again, I think it's birch, but I mean, I couldn't even touch it for the $25 that I paid for it. So I may use it in a wall. I may use it in backsplashes. I may just build shelves out of it. I don't really know. But, you know, I buy stuff like this because, again, I'm just going to use it. I'm trying to make $1 too. So, again, recap, I bought some mounts, I bought the wood, I bought the plates, I bought the targets, and I bought the sprayers. A lot of the things you guys see in the background around here, I bought at auctions, and I could point them out all day long, but I'll include a little bit of video on the actual auction itself because I shot just a little bit, but I hope you find it useful, and you know, I hope you can go out there and make $1 too. Well, I hope you enjoyed the small video on some of the stuff that I bought at the auction, but I thought real quick what I'd do is just kind of cover an auction, how it works, and maybe this can help you. Guys, I can tell you that I have bought a ton of things at the auction over the handful of years to help build the homestead, from, you know, blue barrels that I can store feed in, to, you know, tools, to, you know, building material, to metal. In the beginning of the video, you've seen that little snip clip of that angle iron. And that angle iron was from a previous auction, but I had bought 80 10-foot sticks for $300. And guys, that's a deal when it comes to buying metal. And, you know, I'm always making something out of metal, you know, whether it's, you know, solar mounts or whatever it is. But anyway, so just talk about the auction a little bit, about how it works. And I'll give you guys some advice for those who don't know. So the first thing is, you know, when an auctioneer starts, his first number he's gonna bring is gonna be pretty close to a retail number, because, you know, they get paid on commission based upon what they sell. And, you know, so they'll come out and they'll say, hey, can, you know, somebody give me $1,500, or someone, you know, he's trying to get you to start right there. If you just be patient, what he's going to do is he's going to say to himself, okay, so how about 1,200? How about 1,100? How about 1,000? How about 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, until somebody bites. Once somebody bites, then that auction for that particular item really begins, and then it'll work its way all the way up until you know, someone purchases said item. So be patient. You know, I talked in the video a little bit about one of the arts to being, you know, coming out of an auction okay is being disciplined. And so what I mean by being disciplined is, when I get to an auction, so like this one I went to before, so the auction began at 9:30. I was there at 8:30, and I went and walked around with my, you know, little notepad, and I made a list of all the things I'd really like to end up with. And then once I made the list, I went back to my truck, started the truck, sat in there, and Googled these said items and tried to figure out what is the value, so that I know where I'm at. Once I figure out the value, I said, okay, so now what am I willing to pay? And so I'll give you an example. I bought that big pallet of wood, and when I was going through it, I went and looked up what board feet of, you know, birch cost, you know, all of those kind of things. And so I set my limit at $50. So I would give $50 for that pallet of wood. I ended up purchasing it for $25 before it was over. But when I say disciplined, that's what I mean. And so, like, for example, on that pallet of wood, had it got above $50, I would not have bid anymore. I would have just stayed disciplined and, you know, went on to the next item. Let's talk a little bit about how to find an auction. So these are what's called a farm consignment auction, and they're here where I live. They're everywhere, and, you know, in my direct area where I live, there are 4 every single year by 2 different companies. So I actually get a chance to do 8 of them without driving more than an hour in any direction, you know, per year. And you know, I bought Bee's Kubota there. I bought, you know, the Red Ranger at an auction, and I've bought all kinds of stuff. But so just Google farm consignment auction near me, and they'll come up. Now, I don't know if they're everywhere. I was talking to Danny from Deep South yesterday on the phone. We were talking about some other stuff, but anyway, he said they just don't have them down where he lives, you know, that there's really not a lot of farms around him or whatever. But so I can't tell you that they're everywhere, but you know, certainly if you can't find a farm consignment auction near you, just Google auctions near you, and there'll be some estate auctions, and there'll be some of those kind of things. And, you know, and I would urge you to go. So again, my biggest advice that I would give to you is do your research ahead of time. Make sure you understand what the value is. Stay disciplined to whatever number, you know, that you stick on it. And you know, if you don't get something you really want, it's okay. You know, there'll be more, you know, previous auctions. That target tree that I purchased, as you've seen in the video, they had those at the last 3 auctions, and I had attempted to buy them each time. but the first 2 times they just got above what I was willing to pay, and so I just didn't do it. But anyway, I know this is maybe not the most exciting video in the world, but I'll tell you, you have to make $1 too. If you can't do that, it is almost impossible to get free because it is just so expensive. And so I try to take advantage of it, at every turn. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Like I always say, live a life a little freer today than you did yesterday. Hold the line. Don't give an inch. Tag out.